सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Apologize for that, guys. I totally set everything up and then forgot to hit the stream button for our video Twitch viewers at home. And while I was trying to fix that, we came back and it locks me out of the other computer. So anyway, we are all set up now. Even though the Twitch viewers, I apologize. You missed the first half hour of the show. We didn't really talk about anything. Toys R Us is going out of business, and in Colorado, there's a ballot initiative that's probably not actually going to make it on the ballot that will instead, when you get pulled over, instead of your money going to the state, you get to pick the charity, and the money goes to charity.
There was something on the other end of my that I wanted to make sure I got in. I guarantee if that measure passes, this will be the next thing you see. You can save 20% on your police fine if the charitable organization you give your money to is the Policemen's Benefits Association, or is a charity for police officers and their kids, or is a charity for military members and their kids, or is a charity for former city councilmen and their kids. That might be a little more brazen, but you see what I'm saying. They'll find a way to get theirs, even if they pass this. Policing for profit is only going away if you change policing, period.
Amen to that.
Okay.
Amen to that.
On to happier times.
Oh, no. That was the happy time. This is on to more entertaining times. How's that?
Okay, entertaining.
It says, well, this is from the Wall Street Journal. It says the title is The Exhaustion of American Liberalism. White guilt gave us a mock politics based on the pretense of a moral authority. Wow. Now, this is from Shelby Steele. It says here, a recent flurry of marches, demonstrations, and even riots, along with the Democratic Party's spiteful reaction to the Trump presidency, exposes modern liberalism has become a politics shrouded in pathos. Unlike the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s, when protesters wore their Sunday best and carried themselves with heroic dignity, today's liberal marches are marked by incoherence and, well, downright lunacy. Hats designed to evoke sexual organs, poems that scream in anger yet have no point to make, and hysterical. Okay, the anti-Americanism I don't care about. What about the disgusting looking people who feel like putting themselves on display in public, the woman with like boobs to her knees with black, electrical tape over the nipples, walking hand in hand with like a 6-year-old dressed in drag. Incoherence, I think, and downright lunacy is really kind of the best way to describe it. But I don't care if they're not nationalists, that doesn't really matter to me. All of this suggests a lostness, the end of something rather than the beginning. What's ending? Well, America since the 60s has lived through what might be called an age of white guilt. We may still be in this age, but the Trump election suggests an exhaustion of the idea of white guilt, and with the drama of culpability, innocence, and correctness in which it mires us. White guilt is not actual guilt. Surely most whites are not assailed in the night by feelings of responsibility for America's historical mistreatment of minorities.
Can I interrupt here to say something real quick?
Sure,
it's not white guilt. It's Manifest Destiny 2.0. It's White Man's Burden 2.0. I mean, they mask it as guilt, But the truth is that they have this mentality that they have to take care of the black people, the LGBT people, and all of the other minorities because they're too weak, too dumb, too lazy to take care of themselves. That's not my opinion, but that's what underlies their ideology.
I think Arya really just hit it on the head, and also hit on the head the issue I have with that theme of the article, which is that it's it's not necessarily wrong to feel like you need to do something to better the plight of your fellow man who has been oppressed by people who are in your similar situation. But what Arya said about it being a matter of caretaking, using the power of the state, that's the uniqueness of modern American liberalism. So it's not white guilt. It's white man's burden 2.0.
Well,
But it's
says-
still
Or
exhausting.
white non-gender, white non-binary,
Yeah, there's also a lot more.
Alkin 2.0.
Yeah,
Right.
it's adjectives burden 2.0.
Well, what they're saying here is, like it says, white guilt is not actual guilt. So she agrees with you here. Surely most whites, they're not assailed in the nights by feelings of responsibility for America's historic treatment of minorities, and moreover,
But they like to pretend they are.
all the actual guilt in the world would never be enough to support the hegemonic power that the mere pretense of guilt has exercised in American life for the last century. White guilt is not angst over injustices suffered by others. It is the terror of being stigmatized with America's old bigotries: racism, sexism, homophobia, and xenophobia. To be stigmatized as a fellow traveler with any of these bigotries is to be utterly stripped of moral authority and made into a pariah. The terror of this, of having no name in the street, as the Bible puts it, pressures whites to act guilty even when they feel no actual guilt. White guilt is a mock guilt, a pretense of real guilt, a shallow etiquette of empathy, pity, and regret. It's also the heart and soul of contemporary liberalism. This liberalism is the politics given to us by white guilt, and it shares white guilt's central corruption. It's not real liberalism in the classic sense. It's a mock liberalism. Freedom is not the raison d'etre. Moral authority is. And when
State authority,
when-
specifically.
Exactly. When America became stigmatized in the 60s as racist, sexist, and militaristic,
Which it is.
and still is today, and even under Democrats, particularly under Democrats,
Well, they did say the 60s. Remember who was president for 8 of those 10 years?
it wanted moral authority, and you heard the things that he said you've read the things he said as he discussed the Civil Rights Act behind closed doors. It says the American left has reconstrued itself as America's keeper of moral legitimacy. Conservatism has focused on freedom and wealth and has little moral clout. And from that, today's markers of white guilt: political correctness, identity politics, environmental orthodoxy, the diversity cult, and so on. This was the circumstance in which the innocence of America's bigotries and disassociation from the American past became a currency of hardcore political power. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, both good liberals, according to the author at least, pursued power by offering their candidacies as opportunities for Americans to document their innocence of the nation's past. I had to vote for Obama, a rock-ribbed Republican once said to me. I couldn't have to tell my grandson that I didn't vote for the first black president.
And there it is, and there he said it earlier in the article. It's not about the issue of recognizing things like sexism, racism, homophobia, xenophobia. It's about the fear of stigma. You can recognize that America has some really problematic things going on when it comes to race and gender and sexual orientation, and that people treat each other badly because of those things. But when you feel guilt about it instead of just confronting it and trying to change it, that's what the modern left capitalizes on.
We'll be right back on the call.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. The last segment of this first live hour. Broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know, I tell you guys all the time, you should come up here and see what it's like to live in a crypto community. And, well, it's a really good opportunity coming up right now. Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians this summer from June 14th through June 18th for Fork Fest 2018 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and you're invited to come and create whatever experience you would like and others to have. Fork Fest is a decentralized event, which means no one's in charge, so everyone is. It's up to you to create what happens. Or, well, you could simply just come, relax, and go camping with other liberty lovers. Find more information at forkfest.party. And join the forum or the Telegram chat group while you're there. That's forkfest.party. So we've been talking about this story here from the Wall Street Journal, and it was written by an African-American woman named Shelby Steele, and she's talking about how, liberalism is no longer about progressiveness or liberalness or any of those things. What it is, well, it's about guilt. It's about making you feel bad, oftentimes for things that you, like in my case, my ancestors had nothing to do with. I lived in an area that was central to the, not I, but my ancestors came from an area that was central to the Underground Railroad. So we don't really owe any debt of guilt for what people on farms hundreds of miles from where I grew up, 100 years before I was even born, committed.
I don't think it's about making people feel guilt. I think it's about making them feel intimidated. It comes back to the stigma thing that you were both discussing before the break. They know that they can cause people to be afraid of that stigma, and they can coerce them to do one way or another, or to vote a certain way.
Well, that's actually what this lady's...
by holding that threat over them.
Well, that's actually
saying, if you don't vote for the first trans presidential candidate, then your grandchildren are going to call you transphobic.
Well, that's kind of what this lady is going on about here. It says for the man who voted for Obama because he didn't want to have to tell his grandson that he didn't vote for the first black president, well, liberalism was more of a moral vaccine. A moral vaccine, that was supposed to inoculate or immunize him against stigmatization. For Mr. Obama, it was raw political power in the real world, enough to lift him, unknown and untested, into the presidency. But for Mrs. Clinton, well, liberalism simply was not enough. The white guilt that lifted Mr. Obama did not carry her into office, even though her opponent was soundly stigmatized as an iconic racist and sexist. Perhaps the Obama presidency was the culmination.
We should say both her opponents.
Right.
Although the one who won stigmatized himself, but the stigma hoisted on Bernie Sanders was all from Hillary Clinton's camp. And that's the sort of thing the article's actually talking about, is that the foisting,
yes,
not the revelation of what's already there.
Well, it says, perhaps the Obama presidency was the culmination of the age of white guilt, so that this guiltiness has entered its denouement. There are so many public moments now in which liberalism's old weapons of stigmatization shoot blanks. Elizabeth Warren in the Senate reading a 30-year-old letter by Coretta Scott King hoping to stop Jeff Sessions' appointment as Attorney General. There it was, with deadly predictability, a white liberal stealing moral authority from a black heroine in order to stigmatize white males as racist.
No, a white male is racist. That's a key distinction.
Oh yeah, a white male is racist. There we go.
Because Jeff Sessions really is a racist.
He is, but there's
that's
9 million other reasons to not want him to be the Attorney General, other than
exactly.
He don't want his daughter listening to that swing music and dancing with colored folks.
Well, it's more he don't want them there colored people to get out of the jails there. But go ahead.
It says liberalism has evolved this liberalism has evolved within a society that's shamed by its past, but that shame is weakened now. Our new conservative president rolls his eyes when he's called a racist, and we all, liberal and conservative alike, know that he really isn't one. The jig is up. Bigotry exists, but it is far down the list of problems that minorities now face. I grew up black in segregated America, where it was hard to find an open door. It's harder now for young blacks to find a closed one. This is the reality that made Miss Warren attack Miss Warren's attack on Mr. Sessions so tiresome, and is what caused so many Democrats at President Trump's address to Congress to look a little mortified, defiantly proud, but dark with doubt. The sight of them was a profound moment in American political history. Today's liberalism is an anachronism. It has no understanding really of what poverty is or how it can be overcome. It has no grip on what American exceptionalism is and what it means at home and especially abroad. Instead, it remains defined by an America of 1965, an America newly opening itself to its sins, an America of genuine goodwill, yet lacking in self-knowledge. This liberalism came into being not as an ideology, but as an identity. It offered Americans moral esteem against the specter of American shame. This made for a liberalism devoted to the idea of American shamefulness. Without an ugly America to loathe, well, there's no automatic esteem to receive. Wow. That's...
Yeah, the last 3 paragraphs there, that kind of fell off from being a legitimate critique of liberalism to being a
nationalist tirade.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's worth pointing out.
But American liberalism has not acknowledged that it was about white esteem rather than minority accomplishment. 4,000 shootings in Chicago last year, and the mayor announces that it will be a sanctuary city. This moral esteem over reality. What
does that have to do with anything, dude?
This is more.
Democrats are bad.
This is moral esteem over reality. Self-congratulation of idealism. Liberalism is exhausted because it's become a corruption. Well,
it's not the only one.
Yeah, conservatism is the same thing. Is the problem?
Yeah,
I think the author states at the beginning though that conservatism has no moral authority either. Like it begins with conservatism having no moral authority.
I couldn't tell if that was the author's assertion or if the author, which Shelby Steele, for anyone who missed the last segment, or if Shelby Steele was saying that's how liberals cast the conservative movement. Because at the end, there's definitely a lot of trying to cast conservatives as virtuous and righteous and perfectly just as unbigoted as everyone else, using the examples of 2 men who are unquestionably racist, bigoted, sexist, and horrible human beings, Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump. So, but I guess it's like anything else you would read in a mainstream publication like the Wall Street Journal. For every bit of truth and legitimate criticism, there's going to be another bit of cheerleading of the other side that's just as bad.
Oh, yes. The 70-30 rule, man. Always. The 70-30 rule.
It's almost exact here, isn't it?
It is. It's the 70-30 rule. You see it all the time in these anti-Muslim publications and stuff, too. Just enough truth to not look like absolute tripe. And then they ruin it. What about you, Arya? You got about 30 seconds.
Well, it started out well, but I think that this is a large part of the thing that causes the libertarian to alt-right pipeline, in fact, is that, as libertarians, people outside of that dichotomy, we are able to see that truth that they began the article with. But someone who is already inclined toward the right or toward classical values or whatever will read that, and they will take in the last 2 paragraphs as well.
And that will be all that they hear. We'll be right back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $24, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,591. Antiwar.com reports managing alliances in Syria has long been a struggle for the United States, as underscored by how often two U.S. armed allies end up directly fighting one another. The split between Turkey and the Kurdish YPG, however, is a particularly difficult challenge. Turkey has been complaining for years that the U.S. was too cozy with the Kurds, insisting the group is a terrorist organization. This has become a higher priority since Turkey invaded Syrian Kurdistan in January. Now the U.S. is promising to rein in the Kurds to try to calm Turkey, which probably sounds like a good idea to U.S. officials trying to manage Turkish relations, and probably sounds really bad to U.S. officials trying to manage relations with the YPG. Already the Kurds are disquieted by the lack of U.S. support since the January invasion, seeing it as a betrayal. Overt talk of trying to rein them in is likely to add to the sense among some YPG leaders that the U.S. is a fair-weather friend that can't be counted on when the chips are down. Kurdish history is littered with examples of allies who eventually back away from the Kurds when they get a better deal elsewhere, and many have expected it would only be a matter of time until that happens with the United States. Whether that's America's intention or not, any move to try to placate Turkey will be seen that way. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports at least 2 people were killed after a tourist helicopter crashed into Manhattan's East River on Sunday evening, with several people trapped inside. A spokesman for New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio confirmed 2 passengers died and 1 other was rescued, but divers are still searching for other passengers. As many as 6 people may have been on board at the time of the crash. A bystander caught the incident on video, which shows the helicopter crashing into the waters and submerging into the river as the blades kept spinning. The New York Post reported that witnesses saw the pilot escaped the helicopter, but the other passengers were trapped inside. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a Colorado criminal defense investigator jailed for refusing to testify in a death row inmate's appeal because of her religious beliefs has agreed to comply with a prosecution subpoena that could set her free, according to her attorneys on Sunday. Greta Lindekrantz was jailed for contempt of court nearly 2 weeks ago by Arapahoe County District Judge Michelle Amico after she declined to testify in the case of Robert Ray because her Mennonite faith opposes capital punishment. Her lawyer, Mary Newman, said in a court filing, based on her firmly held faith-based belief, which do not allow her to assist those who are seeking the death of another, Ms. Lindekrantz refused to testify as a witness for the prosecution seeking to kill Robert Ray. But Newman said on Sunday that Lindekrantz had agreed to testify after appellate attorneys for Ray notified her that Lindekrantz's refusal to testify may hurt the inmate's chances to have his death sentence overturned. Newman said by telephone, "That has changed everything." Newman said she filed a motion seeking her client's immediate release, but was unsure if the judge would rule it over the weekend. Lindekrantz was a court-appointed private investigator in the murder trial of Ray, who was sentenced to death in 2009 following his conviction for a double killing. Ray's lawyers are appealing his sentence, arguing in part that his defense was ineffective. Lindekrantz was subpoenaed in an effort to prove Ray received competent defense. Attorney-client privilege, which attaches to all members of a defense team during trial, can be waived if the issue of ineffective assistance of counsel is raised on appeal. In 2001, the Mennonite Church USA, the congregation to which Lindekrantz belongs, passed a resolution opposing capital punishment. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A new teen trend of walking wet and nude couldn't have caught on at a worse time, and a taxpayer is outraged. And lo, the Lord said unto the Israelites, look unto the heavens, and you shall see a news review program to rival the greatest wonders of the earth. This is the Onion Week in Review. As a front of dense, frigid air and snow showers brought sub-zero temperatures to much of the country this week, Canton, Ohio residents noted that the blanketing of snow they had received created the illusion that their town was not a total shithole. Residents added that unlike its typical depressing reality, the snow-cloaked town actually looked halfway livable.
Canton is usually a miserable little dump, but you know when that first snow fell and covered everything in a layer of white powder? For about 5 minutes it was like not everything I saw depressed the living out of me.
Reports from locals also confirmed that for a brief period, the streets, parks, and buildings around them gave the surprising impression of not being a run-down, heartbreaking excuse for a hometown.
This is the Onion News Network. The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. On the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's time for the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And, well, you know what? I've got some big news for you guys. Turns out pretty popular media personality has decided they want to discuss cryptocurrencies. And I'm going to, well, I'm going to proof it, so to speak, and see how much of it we're not going to be able to actually listen to. And if it's not too bad, we may actually play it on the air.
I was about to say you'd better prove it versus considering the source, because
Yeah.
it's John Oliver.
Yeah, exactly. We've got, but yeah, it turns out that John Oliver with, what is it? HBO? Yeah, HBO. Last night, devoted 25 minutes to cryptocurrency on his HBO show. A comedian and political commentator treated viewers to a whistle-stop tour, the good, the bad, and the ugly. During last week tonight, topics included decentralization, BitConnect, and the blockchain. Says, like all mainstream comedians, Oliver's a who cares, whatever. Some love him, some hate him. And his supercilious sermonizing. British-born comic, made his name on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Actually, no, he originally made his name on Mock the Week, which is where he was at. It was a British political commentary show he was on before being recruited by The Daily Show. But, you know, I only know that 'cause
Yeah,
I
but
watch
nobody watches British
too much
TV.
British TV like I do. Yeah, I know. It says on Sunday,
Except the
March
British.
11th, the 40-year-old took on one of the most complex subjects yet, cryptocurrency. During the course of the show, Oliver provided a broad overview of cryptocurrency and everything that comes bundled with it. The comedian pilloried for his calls that progressives, because it's the current year, ticked off many tropes that are de rigueur when mainstream media does crypto. Beanie Babies, the Wild West, Pump and Dumps, and BitConnect were all mentioned, as was the practice of brands gratuitously adding blockchain to their name. Oliver then declared that he was renaming his show Last Bit Tonight with Blockchainiver. Crypto heads will have learned nothing from Sunday's edition of Last Week Tonight, though the show's 4 million viewers should have gleaned a few insights amidst all the jokes. There have certainly been worse attempts at summarizing the world of cryptocurrency, even if Oliver's efforts are unlikely to trigger a renewed Bitcoin frenzy. The episode felt as if Oliver had just learned of cryptocurrency 10 minutes before going on air and felt obliged to bring his audience up to speed on its history and technology post-haste.
I mean, that's probably exactly what happened.
Right. Somebody else
Sounds
wrote
about
it.
right. That's why I said we better screen it first.
ICOs.
Hey, what's this thing people are talking about?
ICOs were compared to Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Oh dear Lord.
HODL was pronounced HODL, and Oliver also uttered such acronyms as FUD alongside Moon, Wrecked, and Lambo. Many people are buying coins for no other reason than other people are buying them, observed the British comedian, before showing an advert for a P&D group called Crypto Calls that explained how members could profit at others' expense. In the speculative mania, it can be hard to tell what's real, noted Oliver, before finishing with a section on Block.one, and reported that $1.5 million raised for EOS as shilled by the maverick Brock Pierce.
It sounds like he's just stealing Arya's shtick, except minus the actual knowledge.
Yeah. According to Pierce, EOS is going to change everything.
And the sexiness.
Right?
Very much.
And no fornicating in the woods. In his concluding remarks, Oliver instructed, quote, "Just know that you're not investing in crypto, you're gambling. Caution is a tough sell when you're up against BitConnect and HODL Gang." Before signing off.
So he basically squawked like a pigeon for 25 minutes.
Before signing off with one final cliche, Bitcoin could be worthless, or it could be worth millions.
Or it could be worth $9,000 or whatever it is right now.
Under 9,000 right now, I believe. Let's check. Coin market cap, or actually, you know what? Prev is quicker. Prev has got Bitcoin at $9,019, with Bitcoin average. Bitcoin average having it at around $9,039, with a low today of $88.21.
Wait till somebody tells him about the the massive crash that happened with the stock market in 1929. It'll be a big revelation to him. He'll do a whole week on how risky stocks are.
Wow.
Because it's not obvious to his listeners that investments carry risk.
Well, yeah.
Whereas
what I find curious about it is that he's obviously a defender of sheets of paper being used as money, which somehow he doesn't immediately see.
He's British. He loves government. He's
equally
British.
As unintrinsically valuable as ones and zeros.
I guess nobody's made a crypto yet that has a picture of the Queen on it. I'm sure he'd be all over that.
They have.
Oh, I think Bitcoin has it.
Bitcoin. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's amazing.
There is indeed a Bitcoin.
That is correct. There is a Bitcoin. Actually, I think you can get it on Coinomi. I just couldn't find any of them on Cryptopia. It's the only reason why we didn't buy any to give away on the show.
Because they're crap coins.
Yeah, well, I mean, we give away lots of those.
We do.
We do.
Yeah, but
we give away anything
but
that
literally,
you can put on Coinomi.
Like when we say we give away lots of crap coins, we mean when we give crap coins away, we give away lots of them in case they stop being crap for you.
Well, because the reason we do the anything in Coinomi is because you can most of that stuff you can just shapeshift out of into something else. You know, you shapeshift it into Dash or Bitcoin Cash or Vertcoin or Zencash or something else that's better than.
Especially Vertcoin.
Or Bat.
Shapeshift into Vertcoin because Vertcoin's our sponsor.
Right, or Bitsend or something like that, instead of, if we send you that, then convert it into Vertcoin or convert it into Dash and use it at a business. It's really all up to you. We'll be back here with, oh, no, we won't. What am I doing? I'm doing the same thing I do all the time for the first segment, trying to take us out a minute early.
Good job.
Hey, I caught myself this time, okay? I don't know why I'm obsessed with the first segment of the show ending at 15 minutes. At 15 after the hour, yeah.
Because it seems rational, except you forget we don't come on until 6 after the hour for that first segment.
Well,
so there's an adjustment. Whereas we come on at 3 after for all the other even-numbered breaks?
Yes. Yes. Well, no, it's 6, 10, 3, and 7. So
I love how we're covering for the fact that we messed our format by basically just reading the listeners the format.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? Isn't it great? Well, that and the fact that I need to preview some of this video before I actually play it on the air because it's more than likely going to be rough, and I want to know the spots I'm going to need to dump the foul language. But we're going to try to see. I can't guarantee it. We're going to try and see if we can listen to some of this John Stewart video on cryptocurrency. We get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
When they come to take you down.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
The American Psychiatric Association has issued an alarming study warning that the nation's used car salesmen are going completely insane, and in some extreme cases, practically giving cars away. The APA traces the outbreak of widespread hysteria to an apparent overstock of high-quality late-model cars begging to be driven off the lot today. Some severe symptoms include delusions, manic exuberance, and a psychotic commitment to offer the lowest prices guaranteed. Victims' families are joining together to raise awareness of this serious psychological epidemic.
The authorities found out how unbelievably low his prices were. They'd lock him up and throw away the key.
You are not alone. Over half of America's used car salesmen are currently going bonkers.
Car dealers suffering from this condition are prone to project their own disorders onto others. According to Mad Max, the Car Czar's website, you're out of your mind if you're not taking advantage of these low, low prices.
This is the Onion News Network.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom, brought to you by Helium.com. Unasikiliza Crypto Hour inayohusu wito wa uhuru, imeletwa kwako na Helium.com.
Welcome back here to the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And we're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, securing your internet communications against the government, well, it's become almost impossible. Government can see everything you do online, and they can block services to stop you from communicating altogether. Well, enter CryptVisor, the unstoppable instant communication platform. CryptVisor is powered by the blockchain and fully decentralized. They have no central servers for governments to block or shut down. And CryptVisor neither asks nor stores your personal information. Even if governments ask us for your data, well, they simply don't have it. Find out how you can get CryptVisor for free and learn about their premium options like CVPay, the CVPay cryptocurrency wallet, and other advanced security features. So check out CryptVisor at cryptvisor.network. That's cryptvisor.network. So we were talking about John Oliver actually appeared recently on his own show discussing our stuff, our favorite thing, cryptocurrencies. Now, since we went to our last break, we have been joined in the studio. We've got Melanie on.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Melanie.
How we doing? You doing all right?
Yeah, pretty good, yo.
You think you're going to make it home tonight?
As opposed to what?
Well, I heard it's supposed to start snowing about the time LRN gets off the air and snow like nonstop.
It always snows. I mean, not always,
April,
but...
I guess. I'm hoping it doesn't, because the last set of birthday parties we did got snowed out, and I'm hoping that this is all said and done by Saturday so that we don't miss a whole nother set of birthday parties and it ends up being like, I don't know, Christmas and I have to do 5 birthday parties at once.
Yeah, that can get expensive. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but we did go out and I looked up this this clip of John Oliver, and we could play a good portion of it. And we're going to try to. And everybody just kind of laugh at the fact that it's John Oliver doing his version of the same crap that we've heard from every other big bank.
I mean, literally the same crap.
Literally,
exactly
it's
the
like
same crap.
it's like they wrote a script and added a laugh track to what Krugman says.
Technology, the thing that will eventually make television so high def I will no longer be allowed to appear on it. And I want to approach this subject carefully because discussions of any new technology tend to age very badly, as this news report from less than 5 years ago shows.
The first users of Google Glasses surely will not be the last.
I think it'll end up changing our lifestyles, you know, changing the way we interact with each other, and just changing the gesture. Instead of this, it will be that.
Yeah, it wasn't though. It was not that, because for some reason people didn't mind doing this with their hands if the alternative was wearing a stupid robot on their face all day. The point is, it is dangerous to make predictions about where tech is going. So that said, tonight we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies. Everything you don't understand about money combined with everything you don't understand about computers. The main currency you've probably heard about is Bitcoin. It's been all over the news because last year its value exploded from around $1,000 at the beginning of the year to $9,000 by November to nearly $20,000 by December. Bitcoin became such a hot topic that paparazzi started asking celebrities about it. Watch Michael Keaton leaving a restaurant.
See you guys. All right, take care. Hey, would you recommend buying Bitcoin?
You know what's funny? I was just talking to my buddy about that, who knows about this. I got 2 different. One guy said, yeah, you probably want to. Another friend of mine said, not like it's a bad thing. They just don't know where it's going to go.
I've got to say, you do not expect conversations with paparazzi to be so nuanced. Hey, Cardi B, what are your thoughts on the idea of universal basic income? Well, it could go a long way to reducing inequality, but I don't think the American people would support the tax increase necessary to fund it. You can read all about it in my book, Cardinomics, Making Money Moves for a New American Century. And this was a dramatic shift. Because just a few years ago, you'd only hear about Bitcoin from that one guy in your office who wouldn't shut up about it. Let's call him Dan. And the reason that we're calling him Dan is that Dan is the exact guy in our office who's been annoying God again for years. It's honestly not the only reason, but it's the easiest one to bring up right now. The point is, lately, more and more normal people,
it's John Oliver.
non-Dans, have been getting into cryptocurrencies, partly because they may have seen stories like this.
Dylan Fine is living the dream.
I had that Mitsubishi Eclipse, my windows didn't work, my AC didn't work, right? I had to open my doors just to get food at the drive-thru.
Everything changed when he met a friend who introduced him to Bitcoin.
I turned $350 into $12,000.
He became a millionaire at 24. All by investing in Bitcoin.
I can literally put in a trade, wait a few hours, let the exchange rate fluctuate, and I'm actually able to profit from the world's largest financial market in the world.
Yes, that man is apparently a millionaire now, which is presumably why he's being interviewed on the most expensive outdoor swamp log in South Florida. And despite the fact that Bitcoin has dropped by nearly half since the start of this year, there is still a cryptocurrency fervor going on, with people watching people like that guy get rich, or hearing about others on Reddit or Twitter and feeling driven to invest in crypto due to FOMO, or fear of missing out. Now, FOMO is a term that many of you probably already knew about, but I'm 40 years old, British and oblivious, or FIOBO.
You certainly are that.
So with all this excitement and curiosity, we thought we'd try and explain a few things tonight. Bitcoin, blockchain, the technology that allows it to exist, and cryptocurrencies in general. And I'm going to be simplifying things a lot here. So let's start with Bitcoin, which is a digital, decentralized currency. That
boom, already.
For crying out loud!
Bitcoin's...
He didn't get 5 words in.
Wait, hold on. What happened? I must have missed it.
He said it's decentralized.
He said Bitcoin is decentralized.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the buzzword, you know.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's the buzzword. And even
as buzzwords
even lefties,
tend to be, it's crap.
Even lefties use it without knowing what the hell they're talking about.
Especially lefties.
It's not just libertarians that are like obsessed with everything decentralized who just throw the word around like they don't even know what it means. Like that word I don't think it means what you think.
My business has no management. Isn't it awesome? It's a decentralized business. I could probably run a IPO like that.
I know, and people would be like, "Oh, that's totally decentralized," even though all power is centralized into one person's hands. Because they just words don't have meanings anymore. They just have like buzz. So like decentralized has a lot of buzz around it. So like. Doesn't matter if like everything is totally centralized. We'll just call it decentralized.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.fm. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour. يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.fm.
From the Verticoin studio, this is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium. 4 to 7 here on LRN.FM. When you kill the faucet, you color 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
That's right. It's time for the last half of the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And, well, we've been listening to John Oliver try his best to not sound like a complete idiot while talking about a subject that he's
failing so far.
Particularly open about the fact that he knows absolutely nothing about. So we're going to continue on. Hopefully, so far he's done pretty good at keeping me from having to mute him for half the episode. So there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of really bad in here. So we've been able to play it through without having to worry about angering any of our pirate radio affiliates out there. I don't want to get them in trouble, of course. So we're going to go ahead and now, here we are. And he says, first thing he's going to tell us about, well, is how informed he is on Bitcoin.
Which is a digital, decentralized currency. That basically means Bitcoin only exists as computer code, and there is no bank or government creating or controlling it. And I know that this is already a little hard to understand, so I'll let this man in a Bitcoin suit give you a surprisingly decent explanation.
I'm a virtual currency. Worldwide, you can send for little to no fees. Open source, not controlled by any government, corporation, or individual. It's financial freedom, bro.
Thanks, bro. That is a nuanced and accurate explanation of a complex topic delivered with the help of a man in a stupid costume, and I would love to make fun of that, except it's literally the entire business model of this fucking television show. And look, you may at this point be thinking, but wait, how do you make money from Bitcoin? To which Dan would say, you just trade it on exchanges like any other currency.
I mean, wouldn't the smart thing to do be to, stop the video now before it happens again?
How does any money have value, man? And then he'd say, call me the brain fillator, because I just blew your fucking mind.
So much for that.
You're absolutely gross. I hate you.
Oh, John Oliver, everyone.
Well, John Oliver didn't know he was on the radio. He thought he was on TV.
Yeah. Well, see, now I've got a time delay, though, so I can dump it as I go.
Oh, sweet. I mean, but does he ever say anything new of value? Because so far it's just
4 seconds
drivel, you know?
Oh, no, that's too much.
But while Will figures that out...
Oh, I waited too long?
Here's what's driving me nuts about this whole segment. A comedian like John Oliver, you know, several of the things that he says are the same sorts of things we talk about on this show when it comes to cryptocurrency scams. But he could do so much good if he would attack the scams, but then also educate people about the reality of the currency and its real world uses, and maybe lampoon some of the ridiculous practices of big banks and central governments that cryptocurrency can get people around. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't educate himself on the subject. He just half-heartedly just acts like the bad actors are the whole industry, and bases an entire episode of his television show around that and the F word, basically. Sorry, Ari.
He has gone after the big banks pretty heavily in the past. I mean, he's certainly no fan of them, like most liberals aren't.
So can he why not do both? Like right here.
Well, I don't see why we would be entitled to have him do both. I mean, he was doing a segment of... Right, but I mean, he was doing a segment on cryptocurrency, not cryptocurrency and big banks. I don't think he has to go, oh, and those other things, they're bad too.
No, that's not even what I want. I want him to say, for all the bad that we're talking about in this segment, there is still some good out there, and you can read more about it here. That's really all I want. Is for him to encourage people to educate
John Oliver's
themselves.
shtick, though.
Well, yeah, no, he's not trying to give like a detailed, explanation of cryptocurrency. And I don't know. I mean, so if I'm talking about something I'm not qualified on, which I don't like to do, but that's kind of his show, I don't necessarily even feel qualified to be like, oh, this is where you should go, because I don't know.
Well, for instance, here's the analogy that drove me nuts. Was the analogy about Google Glass that he makes. The technology behind Google Glass has continued to advance even after Google Glass as a specific technology has gone away. So I see that same analogy going on here. All the bad things he's talking about belie the reality of blockchain technology. And he just ought to know better. And he comes from, we talked about it earlier, he got his claim to fame was when he got in with Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart used to do a fair amount of lampoon the living daylights out of this thing, but then give people some truth that they can actually use and grow from. And I've seen John Oliver do that. And it really annoys me that he can't do it here. He doesn't even try with a technology that has, applications even beyond the currency world.
Is that a part of the left-wing agenda? Is the advocacy and support of cryptocurrency a part of the left-wing socialist agenda? No. Well, then don't be surprised if he doesn't do so. There are certain things that are like you're allowed to do. Making fun of televangelists. You're allowed to do that. Making fun of Donald Trump. You're allowed to do that. There's certain things like he toes a very, very specific line. And, you could put him on stage and he could be Hillary Clinton's spokesperson, basically.
Maybe what I mean is I wish he knew what he was lampooning.
Well, he toes a political line is the problem. And that political line is the same line that Paul Krugman is on and the guy from... and literally the same exact thing. Well, it's not controlled by a government, so it must be bad. There's no central planners, so it must be, it's the same message that we hear from CNN, MSDNC, the people that come from the big banking institutions, the people from the Federal Reserve. They're all literally playing just different versions. It's like jazz music. It's 20 different versions of the same exact tune. You can play memories 20 different ways, and that's basically what they're doing. Is they've figured out a way to take the song Memories and play it 20 different ways.
I guess the extension of that analogy would be like doing that and then saying, and therefore all jazz is bad.
Right.
Like just a little precision.
But
I know he's capable
you're not
of it. And
getting precision from the people whose what's the word I'm looking for here? My brain just went completely nuts.
Well, and this is basically a comedy show. This isn't really supposed to be like an in-depth analysis of cryptography. I mean, you're not going to get that from a comedy show.
These are the same people. I mean, I'm fairly sure because the Daily Show's gone now. Like, this is the same kind of people that were doing the Daily Show and doing the Colbert Report.
It's just not as good.
And we're doing the Colbert Report, who thought it would be just the funniest thing in the world to have Chris Cantwell shoot his pistol at a, what would they have him shoot at when they did the Daily Show thing? He was like shooting at a box or some stupid nonsense. And they thought that was just the most brilliant thing ever. That it was just, it's absolute brilliance. We'll make, and the best part is he didn't really get like, hey, we're putting together a joke about you right now, so go over and shoot your gun for us so that we can make fun of you later.
I think everybody gets that when they go on the Colbert Reports. Like, you're going to be made the subject of a joke, but you need or want exposure, so that's kind of the price you pay.
Some of the jokes, though, I feel some people, they literally just walk right into them. So
I think we do better crypto comedy than he does. That's
absolutely.
What I
absolutely agree with you that 100%, Tom.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience. Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Do you ever say, I could care less, when you really mean the opposite? You mean to say, I couldn't care less. It's a common mistake. You are judged by how you speak, especially if you're looking for work, with so many more applicants than openings now. But even if you're not, avoiding common misstatements will help you make the most of the dozens of conversations and transactions that crowd your daily routine. So whatever you say, don't say whatever as a single word sentence. It's the most annoying expression in the American English language, according to a recent poll. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. But seriously, at the end of the day, you'll want to avoid this scenario sounding like everyone else. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
All right, welcome back here to the final segment of the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. So we've been having a little fun at Mr. Oliver's expense as he took to HBO last night to explain to all of us what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are. He did it couched in in sarcasm and basically showed us that he knows about as much as the average noob, maybe, if he's lucky.
Which is still more than a lot of people watching that show knew.
True. But that's almost scary to have someone that uninformed trying to inform. For many people, the only information they will ever have on the subject was the 25 minutes they listened to John Oliver ramble and rant about something he had no clue about.
Right, but a lot of the time your goal isn't necessarily to fully educate someone, it's to get them to look into it themselves. And if somebody hasn't heard of something before and you can tell them 1 minute's worth, even if it takes you 5 minutes to do that, that's still more valuable than him saying, well, I'm not a cryptologist, therefore I'm not going to use my mainstream platform to talk about this at all.
Well, to me, it seemed like...
I'm not a cryptologist either, but I'm capable of explaining it to the layperson in terms better than, this is World of Warcraft money.
Right?
Yeah.
That the Fed doesn't control.
But ICOs are Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Oh, but that's not even what I got from that clip. I mean, I didn't see him really belittling it at all. This is a comedy show, so it's going to be comedy.
I think that first bit where, the condescension where he was discussing, it's like, well, it's not controlled by any bank or government and has nothing backing its value other than, that's the argument that you
But then he said that was also true of government currency.
No, he didn't say that.
Yes, he did. He said when you ask this guy what's his backed by, he would say, what is any currency backed by?
Do what, Aria?
I mean, she wasn't even here for the clip. So, I mean, how's she going to say what it was that, the guy said?
Oliver didn't... If he may have had the other guy in the Bitcoin costume, but that wasn't John Oliver doing that. That was him playing a video clip of someone else giving a rational, reasonable response to what is Bitcoin, not his, government Rothschild's good... decentralization, anarchy bad.
He was lampooning that explanation of fiat currency.
There we go. Yeah, exactly. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if we can make it a little while before I have to hit the dump button.
Problem is,
there we go.
Dan is kind of right. Like most currencies, the fundamental reason that Bitcoin has value is because people agree that it has value. In fact, at the moment, it's really being treated more like a speculative investment than a currency. Think of it like Beanie Babies. Why is this Beanie Baby...
right there!
That's an analogy that's been used by the big banker types and the mainstream media for cryptocurrency, and it's not an applicable...
And it's not a smart analogy. It's not even a smart analogy. He's correct that it's being used...
to make a smart analogy. It's the same reason why in a few minutes he's going to start talking about tulips in Denmark.
Okay, keep going.
Is because it's not about a smart analogy. It's about an analogy that makes Bitcoin look like it's something you should stay away from because it's not backed by anything.
Offered for sale on Etsy at a price of $15,000? Well, because its owner thinks that someone will pay that for it. And you know what? That owner was absolutely right. I'm kidding. I just bought this at a yard sale for $10,000. I'm not a complete idiot. And look, while Bitcoin is very interesting as a concept, there are still some complicated technical issues to work out before it can become a usable everyday currency. Just look what happened in January.
Hundreds are in Miami this week for a Bitcoin conference, but it had to stop taking Bitcoin as a payment for tickets last week, suggesting there are still some kinks to work out with the currency.
It's true.
Yeah, it was because fees went so astronomically high that it was retarded to try to take money in Bitcoin. Hence why when people are like, oh, it's decentralized. No, I'm sorry. If there's a group of eggheads that can make it harder to mine to the point that it costs me $1,500 in fees to send a single coin, that seems like some pretty backdoor manipulation to me. That doesn't seem decentralized or uncontrollable at all. You know, so they quit taking Bitcoin. Well, of course they quit taking Bitcoin in the middle of November.
A Bitcoin
fees were
$21
a block,
which is a red flag, since that's the one place you'd think it would be accepted. It's like when I tried to pay for access to the Republican National Convention using Ronald Reagan's dusty skeleton bones. Everyone there agreed they had value, there just wasn't an adequate network in place for the completion of our transaction. But whether Bitcoin catches on or not, many people believe that the really exciting thing about it is the potential of the innovative technology that it's built on, and that's something called blockchain. Now, normally, if I wanted to send money to someone across the world, a bank would need to verify that transaction, and it could take days. But with Bitcoin, it is vastly faster because no bank is involved. And that is because blockchain technology allows a record or a ledger of every Bitcoin transaction ever made to be stored not in one place, but across vast numbers of computers. That is part of what people mean when they say Bitcoin is decentralized. And decentralization has a lot of theoretical advantages, from speed to security.
The key point here is that this is a distributed ledger. There is no central server. All the other ledgers that we have, all banking ledgers, all company ledgers, they all sit and reside inside that company, which means they have one point of attack. They can be hacked. JP Morgan was hacked by cyber thieves not so long ago. Home Depot, Target, we've had all these companies get hacked precisely because there's one central repository of information. The Bitcoin ledger resides on thousands of computers. You can't hack that.
And when you think about it, that sounds great. And because of the complicated process the network uses to verify records, it is very secure. Now, relax. I'm not going to get into what that process is or how it works, but I will share a really helpful, really dumb metaphor for why it is safe.
The way I like to think of it is that a blockchain is a highly processed thing, sort of like a chicken McNugget. And if you wanted to hack it, it'd be like turning a chicken McNugget back into a chicken. Now, someday someone will be able to do that, but for now, it's
actually not a bad analogy.
That is a really, really good analogy, actually.
Well, now I feel bad because like the last minute and a half has been him doing exactly the thing I was saying I hoped he would do. Well, Tom's the moron. All right, I'm turning it back over to you guys for the rest of the hour.
How is that a good analogy, though?
What?
I mean, it was funny, but I'm not seeing how. I'm not seeing the connection between chicken nugget and blockchain.
Have you ever seen how a chicken nugget's made? A chicken nugget is a distributed chicken.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? How about this? You turn the chicken nugget back into a chicken breast, or the parts of the chicken it came from.
Okay, if you could turn a chicken nugget back into a chicken breast, it would be all breast meat, and then it wouldn't be a chicken McNugget. It would be like a nice chicken nugget.
It'd be something that you got at a restaurant that you will.
Yeah,
you know
it would
what?
be a chicken tender.
Here in Keene, I can actually go get like 3 pancakes and 3 eggs and turkey sausage and the whole nines for the same price it cost me to get a Big Mac and fries. So yeah. I was going to say that for the places where you get real food, but like I can get real food here in Keene for the price that I pay for processed garbage. So now, next segment. Now, we've got people, they are waiting for this. Last week, we had our normal, just everyday libertarian drama. And, well, the story was big. The personalities were big. And, well, the crying got bigger. And we decided, you know what? What we'll do is we'll bring both of them back on. See, we weren't able to get Matt Kuhnel in with us until the end of the segment last week. So what we're going to do is we're bringing back Matt Kuhnel and Joshua Smith, and we're going to have a discussion of last week's libertarian drama and all the drama that it's created since then.
Fight!
Right? So don't go anywhere. Stick around. All the fun that you've been waiting for is coming up next here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live.
Having spent 8 years, 6 months, and 21 days of my life in the Florida State prison system, I'm going to say that the incidences of rape are much, much exaggerated in the media. I'm sure it happened.
It makes for interesting television shows.
Yeah. I mean, all the things that I've seen on Oz, I saw in prison, but I was there for 9 years. So, if I saw one incidence of violence where somebody got their ear bit off, okay, it didn't happen every episode.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it is a public perception, though, and people, it's almost a joke, or it's like a wink and a nod.
Yeah, sure.
Bubba's going to get you when you go to prison.
That's exactly the idea. As though sodomy somehow fixes people's broken minds. Right. That's not where they're putting that thing. So, I mean, it's not gonna jostle anything around and fix it.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $24, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,591. Antiwar.com reports managing alliances in Syria has long been a struggle for the United States, as underscored by how often two U.S. armed allies end up directly fighting one another. The split between Turkey and the Kurdish YPG, however, is a particularly difficult challenge. Turkey has been complaining for years that the U.S. was too cozy with the Kurds, insisting the group is a terrorist organization. This has become a higher priority since Turkey invaded Syrian Kurdistan in January. Now the U.S. is promising to rein in the Kurds to try to calm Turkey, which probably sounds like a good idea to U.S. officials trying to manage Turkish relations, and probably sounds really bad to U.S. officials trying to manage relations with the YPG. Already the Kurds are disquieted by the lack of U.S. support since the January invasion, seeing it as a betrayal. Overt talk of trying to rein them in is likely to add to the sense among some YPG leaders that the U.S. is a fair-weather friend that can't be counted on when the chips are down. Kurdish history is littered with examples of allies who eventually back away from the Kurds when they get a better deal elsewhere, and many have expected it would only be a matter of time until that happens with the United States. Whether that's America's intention or not, any move to try to placate Turkey will be seen that way. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports at least 2 people were killed after a tourist helicopter crashed into Manhattan's East River on Sunday evening, with several people trapped inside. A spokesman for New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio confirmed 2 passengers died and 1 other was rescued, but divers are still searching for other passengers. As many as 6 people may have been on board at the time of the crash. A bystander caught the incident on video, which shows the helicopter crashing into the waters and submerging into the river as the blades kept spinning. The New York Post reported that witnesses saw the pilot escaped the helicopter, but the other passengers were trapped inside. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a Colorado criminal defense investigator jailed for refusing to testify in a death row inmate's appeal because of her religious beliefs has agreed to comply with a prosecution subpoena that could set her free, according to her attorneys on Sunday. Greta Lindekrantz was jailed for contempt of court nearly 2 weeks ago by Arapahoe County District Judge Michelle Amico after she declined to testify in the case of Robert Ray because her Mennonite faith opposes capital punishment. Her lawyer, Mary Newman, said in a court filing, based on her firmly held faith-based belief, which do not allow her to assist those who are seeking the death of another, Ms. Lindekrantz refused to testify as a witness for the prosecution seeking to kill Robert Ray. But Newman said on Sunday that Lindekrantz had agreed to testify after appellate attorneys for Ray notified her that Lindekrantz's refusal to testify may hurt the inmate's chances to have his death sentence overturned. Newman said by telephone, "That has changed everything." Newman said she filed a motion seeking her client's immediate release, but was unsure if the judge would rule it over the weekend. Lindekrantz was a court-appointed private investigator in the murder trial of Ray, who was sentenced to death in 2009 following his conviction for a double killing. Ray's lawyers are appealing his sentence, arguing in part that his defense was ineffective. Lindekrantz was subpoenaed in an effort to prove Ray received competent defense. Attorney-client privilege, which attaches to all members of a defense team during trial, can be waived if the issue of ineffective assistance of counsel is raised on appeal. In 2001, the Mennonite Church USA, the congregation to which Lindekrantz belongs, passed a resolution opposing capital punishment. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Nothing you do or say will ever reach the lofty heights attained by the following news summary. This is the Onion Week in Review. Facing increased market pressure and a shrinking bottom line, media company Star Trove was forced to lay off dozens of unskilled bloggers this week. Sources confirmed that before being dismissed, many of the bloggers had been with the company for months, regularly performing menial tasks such as describing celebrity outfits and composing quizzes about Disney characters.
I mean, I'd been with this company for almost a year. It wasn't the most rewarding job, and I didn't have health insurance, but it paid the bills. I'm already 25 years old. I just don't know where to go from here.
In other news, a 6-day visit to a rural African village completely changes a woman's Facebook profile picture. A new dating website helps plus-size Jewish plane crash survivors find love. And a kid figures he'll go down the slide 36 more times and then call it a day.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
What that music means. folks. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio, and it is the third hour of our live Monday show. And we had a good story on Friday, so that means it is time for our drama remix. So basically, what the Drama of the Week remix is we bring either folks who were involved in the previous week's drama or new developments. Sometimes, good drama just doesn't go away. It just keeps giving and giving and giving. It's like what's like what's that cake? It's like fruit cake at Christmas. Like you could eat 4 pounds of it and you've still got 50 pounds left to go. And that's the libertarian drama this week, particularly. It is just the gift. It's like herpes. It's the gift that just keeps on giving.
I mean, I feel like drama is preferable to herpes.
It's the gift that just keeps
Depends
on giving.
The drama.
I mean, you can always just walk away from drama, though.
Yeah, you can't walk away from some herpes. Oh, Lord. All right, Aria, give us a recap on what the libertarian drama is and why we've got these two guys I'm about to introduce.
Okay, well, Matt Kuehnel of Dankertarians made a post alleging that Josh Smith, who is running for LNC chair, was a Nazi or Nazi sympathizer or white nationalist sympathizer or something to that effect because of a picture that Joshua Smith had taken with the Libertarian State Party of Florida's chair. I don't remember his name.
He's not the chair. I think he's
the
treasurer or the secretary. He's also running for office in Florida.
And he happens to be tied somewhat loosely to this group called the Proud Boys that was started, I think, by Stephen Molyneux, is who they said. And so basically it's a lot of crap about nothing, which is what makes it libertarian drama.
You're torpedoing the segment. We want people to keep listening.
No, dude, we have these two people on. It doesn't matter what I say. We have the drama.
Actually, Ryan Ramsey is the gentleman in question, and he is running for District 19 of the Florida House. In Florida, of course. And he's also an officer of some kind. I don't know if he's like at large or he's not chair or vice chair. He's one of the other offices, or maybe he's a county chair. But no, I think he's a state level office holder. So there was a picture taken with him by someone running for a national office at the Florida State Convention. And, Matt Kuehnel or Dankertarians themselves, who Matt is a member of, made the accusation about support for Nazism or nationalism. And we weren't able to get Matt on the air until like 10 minutes before we went off. So we wanted to bring Matt on and get Dankertarians' side, so to speak, because we gave Josh...
Well, there's also more to it that I hadn't finished with.
Get going, Arya.
After Joshua Smith was called out on it, he began making the argument that nationalism is compatible with libertarianism because classical liberals believe in having a nation state.
And this was on our show.
Well, and if you mean libertarian
this was actually on Facebook.
By libertarian you mean minarchy, that's true. If you mean anarchy, that's obviously
that's not what nationalism is, though.
Well, we're talking about big L libertarianism.
Yeah, we want to make sure
we're not talking about either anarchism or monarchism.
Yeah, we want to make sure that
classical liberalism, which is
libertarian party, libertarian.
Right. So the LP is minarchist. They're not really anarchist.
Well, they're made up of a lot more minarchists than they used to be. That's for sure. You still have anarchists in the party and voluntarists and stuff, but I would say particularly with the Johnson, with 12 years worth of Republican retreads. It's become a very, very like Rand Paul-ish party. It really has. I mean, it's sad, but it has.
Right. So I'm not surprised that a minarchist is in favor of nationalism.
Well, me neither, because now.
Well, anyway, let's let him answer that for himself, though. Ario, did you have more that you wanted to add, or?
Well, yeah, I would have loved to have finished that. What Joshua Smith is saying is that nationalism and having a nation at all are one and the same thing, and that it's adding to the confusion and increasing the drama, because he's essentially saying that hey, nationalism is compatible with libertarianism when it obviously is not, even though if you go by Libertarian Party standards, the idea of having a nation isn't necessarily incompatible with libertarianism, but nationalism as an ideology most certainly is.
All right. Okay. So with that, my thing is, I want to make sure that the ones who drive this debate, the drama debate, are our two guests.
That's correct. So we've got Matt Kuhnel of Dankertarians, and we've also got Joshua Smith, right? No, Joshua Smith of Josh Smith for LNC chair. Now, since we had Josh on for quite a while before you were able to get on the air with us last week, Matt, I wanted you to go ahead and give us, you got about 2 minutes to give us your side of the story before the first break.
Okay.
Or as much of your side of the story as you can.
So my name's Matt Kuhnel. I'm not just of Dankertarians. I help admin that page. Josh used to. And actually, if you want to talk about drama with me and Josh, it's almost like, where do you start? Because we've had drama going back almost a year now. Less than a year, but going on a year now. So this recent drama started because of a post where and this is the funny thing, we attacked the Mises Caucus, which Josh is always swearing he's not a member of, but their website has him listed as officer for Washington. But he's got to come defend them anytime anybody says anything bad about the Mises Caucus. So we made a post showing that Brandy Hicks, which is Ryan Ramsey's wife, girlfriend, mother of his child, I believe. So she is a profile that is used maybe by her, but often by Ryan. Ryan will even sign off as Ryan, using it whenever he gets banned. Ryan often posts very anti-Semitic stuff. And it wasn't so much the Proud Boys that we call Ryan out on. It's the American Guard. And that's a group that was basically, you had the which were made of another group, and I'm having a tough time recalling the name, but basically they were open neo-Nazi groups, and now they've still had the same leadership, but they've now called themselves the American Guard, claim they've separated from their racist ties, but they believe in nationalism, and they specifically believe in ethno-nationalism, and it's in their platform. But of course, during this thread, we actually shut it down. Whoever's doing that, we did it on Dankertarians, and then the Libertarian Anti-Fascist Committee, they have a page, and that's where it started, and they shut it down because they don't platform that kind of speech. They try to dress it up, they try to call it voluntary, but they're right there trying to say ethno-nationalism is all right. So Josh pops on this thread and calls all, like, he ends up saying that they're not racist because they have a black gay guy who's half Jew, something crazy, right? And he tags this guy, and it looks like Milo. If you could picture a black Milo, given a white power sign, the little OK power sign they give. And I'm like, dude, the guy you just posted is giving a white power sign. And he says, no, that's a Proud Boys sign. So that's how the Proud Boys ended up getting involved in this.
All right. Well, when we get back here, we'll get into more of the other side of the story from last week's drama when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.fm in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.fm. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Lil Drums. Every bit as fun as a full-size Nestle drumstick cone, and definitely cuter. Visit us at drumstick.com. Vacations are all about family time, but you don't have to leave home to have fun. Take 1 weekend a month and devote it to family activities. Pull out the board games and puzzles, serve up some treats, or have a picnic. Even without leaving home, you'll feel like you've really had some time away. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. This Monday night edition, live broadcasting here from Keene, New Hampshire. And I'm wondering, are you new to crypto? Do you not want to have to spend your whole day reading candle graphs and reading white papers and you but you'd still like to get in? Well, let me introduce you to Helium.com. Now, it's a savings accelerator. And what it is it's a bot that's been built by these fellas, and it watches the values of cryptocurrencies and regular fiats simultaneously. That way it can move your money when the time is just right. You just go to uphold.com and you fill up your account using your bank card or your digital wallet, and then you set it and forget it. Like kind of like the crock pot of cryptocurrency, Helium lets your money move you. So go over to heliumwithane.com/CTF. Get your special offer. That's Helium with an E, HELEUM.com/CTF, and get a thank you for being a Call to Freedom listener. Now, we've been joined today. It's our Libertarian Drama of the Week remix. And, we've got Matt Kuehnel. The U forces me to mispronounce it every time. Matt Kuehnel and Joshua Stewart on. And, last week there was quite a stir in the social media space. Accusations of support for white nationalism and such. And since we didn't get to have Matt on last week, but just a few minutes at the end of the show, we wanted to give him the opportunity to come in and kind of give his side of the story and where all this is really coming from. So you were explaining that basically Ryan Ramsey and then the American Guard and then
so basically the Proud Boys come on, the American Guard is there, and like I said, the American Guard, they're basically the Vinlanders. They're made up of open, KKK members in their leadership. But Joshua presented this one, member going, oh, well, this guy is black and gay, so how can they be racist? But ethno-nationalism is in their platform. And then he goes on to, like Aria explained, defend that nationalism is just pride in your nation, and that because classical liberals believe in a nation, they can also have pride in their nation and be nationalists.
Okay. So what's the philosophical objection to that position for you?
Well, for me, is that nationalism is not synonymous with pride in a country. That's a straight up fascist technique of Mussolini to try to say that nationalism is just pride in one nation. Nationalism is inherent.
I'm gonna have to. I have this thing. I'm a stickler for it. It's called the dictionary. And when a word has a definition and you claim that it's something else or try to claim that it's not that definition, that's redefining words to further ideology. And when I Google the word nationalism, the very first definition is patriotic feelings, principles, or efforts. So feelings.
But Will, the number 2 right below that, because I have Google too, is an extreme form of this, especially marked by a feeling of superiority over other countries.
That is also a definition. But to say that the other definition is, that's to acknowledge that definition is fascism, I'm sorry, but that is at best hyperbole.
Well, when it's coming from people that are advocating for ethno-states, it is not hyperbole. That is straight up their tactics. And Joshua, I'm not going to say he harbors these feelings necessarily, but he's blind to it, and he lacks a lot of knowledge that I would expect from somebody wanting to be chair of the Libertarian Party.
Okay, well, again, as I said, you basically are reading in, because I read the conversation, right? And I read the post that was screenshotted, and he said that nationalism is something that some libertarians support, and that's true. There are many, and I'll even go as far as to say, usually if you find a moderate libertarian, you'll find a lot of nationalists among moderate libertarians. Or if you find a bordertarian, libertarians that are big on borders are usually big on nationalism as well. So, but you have to acknowledge, we have the word bordertarian because there are people in the libertarian community who are pro-borders. Now, as an anarchist, do I feel that's philosophically correct? No. Borders are imaginary lines drawn by governments enforced with guns. That's, to me, a violation of the non-aggression principle, therefore not compatible with libertarianism. But I am a radical voice. I mean, I'm seen as I was seen in 2016 as the most radical voice outside of Darrell W. Perry. But, Austin Peterson, Gary Johnson, Steve Kerbell, these people were advocating the continuation of a state, the continuation of a government, and many times by invoking pride in founding documents and other things, which again is a part of nationalism. So this is where you get the whole much ado about nothing from Arya, is that it was an innocuous statement that's factual. Some libertarians support nationalism.
No, that's not why I said as much ado about nothing. I said that because it was based on a picture. I would agree wholeheartedly that nationalism and libertarianism are in no sense compatible. I would say that the first definition of feeling pride in one's nation is inherently feeling superior because of that factor. It's causing a divide between oneself and other groups, and it's doing so on the basis of nation. Now, in order to take pride in something, one has to necessarily feel that it's good, that it's better, that it's superior. So, I mean, the two definitions that you're citing, they're really saying the same thing. One is just being a little bit more subtle about it. In the end, it's just my nation is better than yours, and how far an individual nationalist is willing to carry that, or how much of a factor it is into their ideology and how much it causes them to hate people who don't share the nation as them, may vary from one person to the next. But at the end of the day, it's rooted in the same thing, and that thing is that my nation is better than yours. Therefore, I'm better than you.
It's exceptionalism. Exceptionalism. That when I hear nationalism, I think American exceptionalism. It's okay for us to bomb brown people, but it's terrorism when they bomb us back.
But also, I mean, it lends source to Josh's credibility and bias and hypocrisy when he says that he wants to purge me and people like me in the Libertarian Socialist Caucus who are violent collectivists. But then he permits, people who are
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is another beautiful day. It is supposed to be like retarded snowmageddon in tomorrow. Or at least like they've already called school off. They're closing the banks. Like we went and did a little shopping just in case, because the kids are going to need milk tomorrow and stuff. But
this is all my fault, by the way.
It is.
It's all my fault. It's all my fault because I took the dogs to the groomer yesterday and spent $65 getting them bathed. So, of course, it's going to snow and turn all my property into a giant mud pit that they will drag into the house. It is completely my fault. I apologize to the entire East Coast. This happens every time I get the dogs.
Are you guys are going to get hit too?
Oh, it's already been snowing here. It's just not laying because it's been warm enough not to.
Oh,
but
so it is going to be.
We'll see what happens. But schools are already being called off here. But
they're talking for like 8. They're talking 8 to 14 inches for us for school to be called off.
Oh,
so it's a little bit different.
I mean, we might have as much as a dusting here.
All right, so when we left, I
had something when we get started here.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then, Tom.
All right, so we were going to kick it over to Josh, and Will and I had been in a bit of a tiff about the definition of nationalism before the break. So, Josh, I wanted to put this directly to you. This is from the American Guard's platform, and this is how they define nationalism. This is plank 2 of the American Guard's platform. Quote, "We are nationalists. We put the welfare and safety of our own nation first. Skipping down, we oppose illegal immigration and support harsh penalties for the willful violation of our borders. The liberties, rights, and freedoms we seek to apply to United States citizens only. They don't extend past our borders."
Holy crap, that's horrifying.
Is that, Mr. Smith? Now, mind you, this is Ryan Ramsey is quoted, has written articles for this outfit's website, appears to at least be related to them. This Hussein Hill fellow that you tagged that's been referenced, the black friend of the American Guard, is a member of this group. Do you believe what I just read, that definition of nationalism, is compatible with libertarianism, and why or why not?
I do not. And I never made the claim that I thought it was. I've said several times that the very basic definition of nationalism, which would include something like my grandmother wearing an American flag on her T-shirt and being, happy to live in America. Now, that is compatible, in my opinion, with libertarianism, as probably half the party feels the same way. I never tried to make the argument that their platform was synonymous with the libertarian platform. In fact, I've heard a lot of lies spread about me in that aspect. I didn't tag a whole bunch of members of white nationalist groups. I tagged one person that's on my friends list named Hussein Hill, that is a gay black guy, and he's a chapter president for the American Guard from North Carolina. He's the state chapter president. And I basically said it would be very hard for an organization to be a racist organization, a white nationalist organization.
Oh, please don't finish that sentence.
It would be hard. Would you say it would not be hard? Do you see a lot of black gay members of the Ku Klux Klan or the American
He played
Front?
that card, didn't he?
I'm just saying, it'd be really, really hard. But it doesn't matter. None of that matters. Look, what matters is that, people are trying to link me to white nationalism. They were trying to link me to white nationalism the day I announced my run for chair of the Libertarian Party. And they continue to do it. So when I went to the Libertarian Party of Florida's event that they had, because I am traveling the country and taking pictures with libertarians all over the country, I took a picture with Ryan Ramsey. I saw Ryan Ramsey working next side by side with people of all races to try and move his party forward towards liberty, his state party. I saw him helping on campaigns. I saw him donating to his affiliate there. And so I said, as far as I could see, I didn't see any white nationalism coming from Ryan Ramsey in Florida. Now, if you think that links me to anybody or any ideology, then that's asinine. Absolutely asinine. And for the record, Ryan Ramsey is not a part of the Proud Boys. Hussein Hill is. And he was the only person that I tagged into that conversation because we're making claims about the American Guard, and I'm not a member of the American Guard, so I figured the one person that I know that is actually a member should probably take that argument from me. So, look, here's the thing. Matt has made a lot of accusations towards me over the last year, all kinds of accusations. Some might be from some picture that I took with somebody or something that I wrote. I did issue an apology this morning because I used the term nation state, which was not a good term. It wasn't a term that meant what I was intending to say. So I issued an apology. I know Will read it. But I do believe that, the very basic definition of nationalism, as Will read today, is a feeling of patriotism, principle, or ethics. That is the first definition of nationalism. And as long as we're not talking about some huge ideology and we're just talking about a feeling of patriotism, I believe there's many in the party already that are small government libertarians that support.
Can I interrupt to ask you a question?
Feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you say that patriotism is compatible with libertarianism? Because
that depends on how you define libertarian. It really
I'm not
does.
going to define it because that's what you're doing. You're using patriotism and nationalism just completely interchangeably.
What's the basic definition of nationalism on Google?
Will read it earlier, and as I explained afterward, the first two it gives are essentially saying the same thing. One is just being a little bit more subtle about it. My nation is better than you.
Yeah, go ahead, Arya, and then I'll get in.
My nation is better than yours, therefore I'm better than you.
Yeah, but the dictionary says that patriotism and nationalism are synonymous.
Guys, why are a bunch of very politically engaged, well-educated people pretending
not in
Google...
the sense that any ordinary person uses it.
Exactly. Why are we pretending that we don't know what nationalism refers to in a political science sense? Why do you keep falling back on Google? You got everybody in this conversation is smarter than that. We all know that nationalism refers to that definition too when we use it in a political sense, which is the extreme feeling that one's nation is superior. It's exactly what's enunciated here by the American Guard itself.
That's an extreme form of nationalism. That's not the extreme feeling. That is an extreme form of nationalism. It literally says that in the second definition.
Okay, can you identify a nationalist organization that's not extreme in any way, shape, or form?
I don't associate
let me ask you this. Do you find that there is an acceptable level of racism? Do you find that there is any acceptable degree of racism?
Acceptable level of racism, no. And it's not something that I've ever advocated for.
Okay. I'm not saying you're a racist, okay? But then why is it okay? Why is no level of racism acceptable, but some level of nationalism is? I mean, they're essentially the same thing, except one is nation instead of race.
We'll ask my grandma.
It's still divisive. My group is better than your group.
And says she enjoys her country and thinks we're the greatest country in the world. I don't know. I'm a voluntarist. I don't know why people do what they do. I can
a
only
nationalist group that's not extreme, the DAR.
What's that?
The DAR, the Daughters of the Revolution. Daughters of the Revolution are a nationalist group, or at least I think they're nationalist, at least. They evoke great pride from the fact that
do they even have a lobbying arm?
Probably not. But they are nationalists, in my opinion. Anyway, you got an opinion? It doesn't matter because our phone lines are tied up. So stick around and listen, and we'll be right back.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm पे।
Is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell into a ring of fire.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, we've got Joshua Smith of Joshua Smith for LNC Chair, and also Matt Keenel from Dankertarians. And we've been having a discussion about their little drama tiff they had last week. And, boy, it has got the social media world, just all the libertarian social media world, at least, all over the place right now. We had Josh on, and Tom's been I think Tom's been challenging him with questions more than Matt really has. Tom said that's okay, Tom. Tom says he's got one more question. Well, it's good because we're talking about the definitions of the word nationalism, and like I said off the break, I don't really like if a word can mean more than one thing, because Arabic words have the same thing. Like a word can mean more than one thing, and when people assign what you mean to you, well, I've decided that you meant it this way, and therefore that's what you mean. I'm just not a big fan of that. I feel that's intellectually lazy. So Tom goes and Tom finds the platform of the American Guard and asks the direct question. And Josh says no, he doesn't feel that viewpoint is compatible with libertarianism. But now Tom has another question in regard to the American Guard.
Well, it's not really in regard to the American Guard, and this is actually for both you, Josh, and you, Matt, because Matt, you mentioned you're part of the Libertarian Socialist Caucus earlier, and there is a perception among many libertarians that socialism and libertarianism are not necessarily compatible because of socialism's statist past. Yeah, like our Arya is one of them. Now, and Josh, this question.
Sorry, Matt knows that though.
Yeah. Now, on your end, Josh, this question was prompted by your references to Hussein Hill, who is a black, gay, self-described pagan member of both the American Guard and the Proud Boys. And you suggested during the course of the Facebook discussion that spawned this, the comment you made was, okay, so the black guy in this thread is a white nationalist. Got it. That was your response to someone's saying the Proud Boys was an alt-right organization. My question to both of you is this. If we allow people who are traditionally associated with a statist ideology into the Libertarian Party, does the Libertarian Party become statist, or does the traditionally statist ideology become libertarian? In other words, if we give equal footing to socialists within the Libertarian Party, do you, Josh, and do you, Matt, believe that that's legitimate despite socialism's statist past? can we redefine both terms to be compatible the way that we can redefine white nationalism to allow a black gay man into a white nationalist group?
Well, I don't think the two are equal, really, because we have a lot more intellectual.
I didn't say they were.
Than nationalists. Even like the Proud Boys call themselves Western chauvinists, which even chauvinism is a person displaying aggressive or exaggerated patriotism. So they are that extreme version that Josh doesn't think they are. We're libertarian socialists. You can follow our Facebook page. We're putting out draft platform planks, and they're more radical than the Libertarian Party. We put out a plank for prison abolishment. Everything in our platform is take away the government, take away the government. So it's really a straw man to try to say that we advocate for any kind of state.
Okay, I didn't mean to suggest that you do, but you would have to admit that, especially to the libertarian ear, when they hear socialism, they think state, and they think that because of socialism's very real history. Just like when one hears,
it's a simple question, Tom. It's a simple question, Tom. It's a simple question. Matt, do you believe rent or property are theft?
In a statist system, definitely. I don't think there's any ethical absentee ownership in a statist system.
Oh, this is just ridiculous.
Okay, well, we're not. I'm just saying, like,
good. We were going for ridiculous here. Come on, guys.
Exactly. This is radio. It's supposed to be ridiculous.
I've sat here for
How
the
are we
last
supposed to
year
keep
and
up with
watched Matt
television?
Advocate for taking people's property away from them, and he's going to sit there and say, in a statist society. So how do you feel about people privately owning their own business, Matt?
Privately owning, what do you mean by that? Like having a corporation that's, titled by the state, protected by the state?
Okay, equating businesses with corporations is fundamentally unfair, and I think everybody here realizes that.
But equating corporations with state, though.
I have a business owner sitting right here at the table. She runs an accounting business. She helps people. She helps people avoid paying as much of their extortion fees to the government as she possibly can, and she runs the business herself. It's her company, and if
but
she
Will,
chose
you
to,
also have.
you
Hold
would
on, he
employ
said
people
corporations. He didn't say. He said corporations.
Yeah, but that's
and you've
not
also
what
got a
was
lawyer
asked.
sitting here, and corporations are state entities, and that's what he's getting at.
Yeah,
right, Matt?
It was specifically asked small businesses. Most small businesses are not C Corps, and if they are, they shouldn't be, and those people need to redo the paperwork because there's no benefit to that even.
They're typically limited liability corporations. Those are still
but that's
corporations.
not the question that was asked. The question was that wasn't the question.
There's
that
also
was
no
asked.
such thing as a limited liability corporation, at least not in any state that I've lived in.
Well, all corporations are limited liability companies.
Josh,
they're limited liability entities.
Josh, ask your question again.
Matt, do you believe that one single person should be allowed to own their own business?
Do I believe one? Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, so your viewpoint changed. The whole last year I've been watching you advocate for taking the means of production.
Oh, one person
watching
have
you
a business.
advocate
What kind of
that rented
business?
staff-
That's pretty vague. answers. I'm not against one person making some shit and selling some shit in their home. Like,
whoa! You can't.
Matt, hold on one second. Everyone calm down. Let me answer Matt's question from the beginning of the show because it's also going to answer Tom's question. Okay? I don't believe that violent collectivists from the right or the left should have a seat at our table. And I've said that since the very beginning. I don't only pick on one side. Do I think that American Guard should have a seat at our table if they're advocating to change our planks and make it a viable solution for their violent collectivism? No. Same with you, Matt. I don't think you have a spot at our table. I've said that since the beginning.
I've never threatened to take over our platform and all this shit. All we're doing is fighting for a seat.
Matt, you cannot cuss
You are
on
on
the
the air,
air.
dude.
You cannot do that.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Stopped you twice. Lord have
Okay.
mercy.
Keep
go ahead,
going
Tom.
without the wordy dirts, Matt.
All right. But yeah, no, and look at our platform. We've never advocated for any kind of violent collective that Josh tries to say that we have. But then you have Ryan Ramsey, who's actually was in violent collectives of the Vinlanders and all these groups, and now he's in the American Guard, and they try to tone
Can
down
I
and
interject something?
their views.
You would get a lot less of those accusations if you would call yourselves libertarian communists instead of libertarian socialists, because we've gone over this before, but socialism is inherently a state construct. It's the state management of property.
I don't know why you've never read Kropotkin. I don't know why you've never read Bookchin. I don't know why you've never read these authors that have talked about stateless societies and socialist free markets.
Well, as Will was talking about, words mean things.
Yeah, in general English usage, that's not what socialism means.
Oh, hold on a minute now. We're going to general English usage, but if you go to Google, the first definition of socialism is a political and economic theory of social organization that advocates that the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. There's no mention of state in there.
There's not, but what you just said
that's what Google
necessitates a state. You can't do that voluntarily.
Well, so does nationalism if you
but nationalism admits that.
Practical.
Yeah, right? Nationalism
is like,
that.
But Brian Ramsey doesn't.
Why there's the argument.
The nationalists we've been talking about here don't.
In libertarianism is because you have these uber patriotic people that also are like, well, I'm libertarian. I don't want the government to go to war. I don't want the government to lock up stoners. I don't want the government to aggress against you. But I still love America. America. I mean, I don't see the problem with that, even though, like, philosophically to me, if you love borders, then you can't be a libertarian. Stick around for Free Talk Live.
A heroic broken sewage pipe floods Congress with waste. Johnson & Johnson introduces new leave-in Q-tips. This Thursday, local youth Andrew Robillard told reporters he had no idea why he couldn't wear his Iron Man costume to his grandfather's funeral. Robillard, whose grandfather passed away this week after complications from a stroke, vented his frustration to reporters and noted that his grandpa, quote, probably wouldn't even care if he dressed like Iron Man at the funeral.
Iron Man is awesome. I want to wear my Iron Man suit. I am Iron Man.
And in tech news, a news website refers to its users' ceaseless exchange of racial slurs as a discussion. In other news, Guinness World Records promotes the man who can lift 27 pounds with his tongue to editor-in-chief. Thursday's cry is moved up to Wednesday due to a scheduling conflict, and a family watches in silence as Dad checks out the waitress.
This is the Onion News Network.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.LRN.FM. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, March 12th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.58 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,323 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $24, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,591. Antiwar.com reports managing alliances in Syria has long been a struggle for the United States, as underscored by how often two U.S. armed allies end up. Over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase